Today we are looking at British pound US dollar GBP USD. We are looking at the daily time frame. As you can see here, the price is channeled in an uptrend. We are currently in an uptrend. So let's look at the current situation in the market. Let's zoom in. You can see that here we have our resistance level here. This is the highest point price have gotten to currently, and this is the current support. So the price is trading between this range, our support here, and our resistance. This is the range the price is trading. So we can see that from the support here, the price picked up to this high, form a high, came down here, form a low, came up again, form another high. It came back here, form a low, a lower high, and a lower low back to the support. It picked up again from this support level here to this point and gave us a lower high. Here. So now we can see that after this lower high here, the price came down here to form a higher low. So we are holding on to this edge that we are seeing an inverse head and shoulder here. So this is an inverse head and shoulder we have here. You can see that we have something like an inverse head and shoulder here. So we are expecting price to pick up from this point back to the resistance level. So we have to narrow down to the 1 hour or 4 hours time frame to see how we can catch our entries for a buy back to the resistance level. So if we go to our 1 hour time frame, let's zoom in. You can see here that from the inverse head and shoulder we have, you can see the demand that came in at this point. The market pushed up, found support here. So looking at it, this is the inverse head and shoulder. This is the first shoulder. Price pushed up, it dropped, and this is the head. It's still a support. Price also pushed up from here. This is the head. So now when the price got here, it came back to this first shoulder level, creating an inverse head and shoulder. When it got to this second shoulder, price pushed up aggressively, indicating the strength of the buyers. Look at the big candle that was formed after it touched the shoulder the second time. After it touched this second shoulder, demand came into the market and the buyers were very aggressive. So now what we just did now is that we counter it now. Let me go to 4-hour chart. We counter it from here. This is the top, the highest price which the market got to. This is the highest price. So we just do a counter. This is the second touch now. So this is the counter trend line, downward. There was resistance here on the first touch. There was a little resistance here on the second touch. And now I'm thinking that there may not be another resistance just because of this inverse head and shoulder here that came from this support line. It's indicating that the market is bullish. Buyers are very active because price pushed from this support, came back here, formed an inverse head and shoulder, and still pushed aggressively here. So we are expecting a break out of this inner counter first. Let me go back to 1 hour time frame. Okay, this is 1 hour time frame. After the demand, this is one big bullish candle, indicating strength of buyers. This is just one candle, how big it is. Then look at the retracement. It took a very long time. For these little candles to take out this big bullish candle. So now what we are just waiting for is a breakout on this little counter here. This is a little counter resistance here. Once we get a breakout, maybe a bullish candle breaking above this counter trend line here. Once we get a bullish candle breaking out of this counter trend line here, then we can expect further buy back to the resistance. So what we just do is that there is a higher possibility that if it can break out of this inner counter here, it will definitely get here and break out of this outer one too. So what we do is that once we get a breakout on this inner one, we'll open a buy position back to the high. Once it breaks out of this inner counter, we'll just open a long position from here. Remember, the entry is the demarcation line between the red and the green color. That's where my entry is. So if you can get a breakout around here to this extent, let me say around here, we'll place our stop loss just slightly below this area here. And then we'll target the high back. We'll target the profit back to this higher resistance level. Back to this higher resistance here. And this is the 1:5. 1:5. This is it. Once we get a little breakout here, the enter will be around here. The stop loss will just be here, and then the take profit will be targeted high. This is 1:6. Let me go back to 4 hours time frame so you can see it clearly. Okay, this is it. The take profit now. This is the target back to the resistance. This is 1:6. This is it. 1:6 risk to reward, which means if we are risking a $50 on this trade, we are getting times 6 if the price gets here. So that's it for GBPUSD. This is the analysis.